Hi there, Sara. Great job writing these new essays. Let's go straight into them and see what you have written. The bar chart shows the thousands of visitors expected in Canada, Mexico, and USA from 4 different nationalities throughout year 2018. The cities of origin are London, Paris, Madrid, and Istanbul. Okay, your grammar is pretty good, but you've reversed the data. So in other words, the thousands of visitors are expected from the countries, and the cities that are expected to be visited are London, Paris, Madrid, and Istanbul. So it might seem like a minor point, like it might just seem like you've missed a couple of words, but in fact this completely changes the meaning of the diagram. So please be careful and absolutely make sure that you make those corrections. Overall, USA will be the largest country with more than 60,000 visits registered from each different country. Okay, again, that's inaccurate. Mexico is the area where less people will decide to explore, with nearly 20,000 of guests from the 4 nationalities. Okay, so again, really, it looks like you've misunderstood the chart here. Let me say it again, that the countries are where the visitors are coming from, and the cities are the places they all plan to visit. So you've really reversed this. It's not so much that your grammar is a problem, but it's your understanding of the bar chart. So when you correct this, you'll really need to make sure that you've indicated this in your new answer. Okay, so in terms of the actual grammar itself, let's see what you did. Overall, the USA, or the US, or it's fine, I guess the way it is, will be the largest country, well, not really the largest country, will be the country with the most visitors. And again, I really can't correct this because the information is wrong. Whereas you needed a connector here to say that Mexico has the least amount of visitors. So you need some sort of connector showing contrast here. So whereas Mexico is the area where the least people will travel, essentially, with nearly 20,000 travelers to the 4 countries. So you can see really that it's just some small little changes here that make the chart actually accurate. All right, moving on. The city of Mexico will register around 20,000 of visitors from Istanbul as well as from London. Okay. Actually, as I said before, it's not the city of Mexico. It's the country of Mexico, and it will register around 20,000 visitors without of to Istanbul. Careful with your spelling here. As well as to London. So that's how you correct the first part of the sentence. And then you wrote, being the Spanish people the most interested in the city, rising their number to 60,000 people. Okay, I think I know what you're trying to say here. You're trying to say, with the Spanish city of Madrid, the city with the most visitors at 60,000. So just making, again, some little changes there completely changes the syntax and the meaning of the sentence, but this time at least it makes it correct. Okay, so moving along. However, citizens, careful with your spelling, from Canada will expect from Madrid downward nearly 30,000. Okay, again, you meant something different here. So, however, citizens from Canada will visit Madrid with numbers close to 30,000. And again, you just need to change a few things around here. French and British people will exceed 40,000 of guests, whereas Istanbul's explorers will be over 60,000. So, really, it's just a problem here with the understanding of the task. So you're trying to say that visitors from Canada will visit Paris and England by over 40,000 guests, whereas those exploring Istanbul will be over 64,000. So you can see here that even though you misunderstood the task, just a few minor changes, some structural word changes really change the entire meaning. However, the USA visitors originating from Turkey, and it's spelled wrong, will be around 60,000. Let's try it again, correcting it. However, USA visitors visiting the city of Istanbul will be around 60,000. French people will be the largest visitors in North America, reaching 100,000. Again, it's inaccurate, so I'm just going to advise you to rewrite the sentence so that it accurately mirrors what is being described in the chart. Okay. British people prefer U.S. cities. It's actually the opposite. Again, we said that U.S. citizens prefer British cities with 80,000 visitors, not of. With a decrease in, I'm not sure what you meant here really. I'm not really sure. Similarly, citizens, please correct the spelling, coming from Paris, rise their preference gradually to Mexico, Canada, and USA, respectively. Obviously, it's the opposite. It's visitors from Mexico, Canada, and USA have an increased preference in Paris. Okay, so it's difficult to correct it when you've misunderstood which people are going where. More than 50% of the French are more interested in USA comparing to Mexico. Okay, again, it's a problem with the understanding of the task here. Istanbul visitors fluctuate around 60% in Canada as well as in USA. Again, it's a mistake here. Obviously, the Canadians and Americans are going to Istanbul. Finally, Spanish people share their preference registering above 60,000 of guests. Okay, a little word of grammar here. It's just 60,000 guests. The only time you need the word of is if you have the word hundreds, thousands, millions without a number. So you could say millions of guests, thousands of visitors. That's the only time you need it. However, when you do have a number here, like 62,000, 80,000, like you had here, 64,000, you don't need the of. You can just say 62,000 guests, 20,000 guests, 800,000 guests without the of. Okay? All right. So 62,000 of guests in Mexico and USA, being Canada the less visited city for Madrid's visitors, whose only will register an amount of 30,000. Okay, Nina, I'm just going to ask you to rewrite this entire sentence now that we've talked about how you've analyzed the task and what you need to do. Just rewrite it because it's hard to follow, it's inaccurate, and I'd rather you just try to rephrase it now that you know what the task is trying to actually accomplish. Okay, let's go into your task 2. Should humans adapt to technology or should technology adapt to us? Is technology making us intellectually weaker or more intelligent? Technology innovation comprise one of the largest developments to new societies in the last decades. Okay, technological innovations, plural, has comprised one of the largest developments to new societies in the last decades. So just a couple little changes really improve the accuracy of the grammar here. Whether computers, robots, and mobile phones are changing humans' lives or their intelligence has been debatable since technology revolution begins in the 21st century. Okay, so let's take a look at this sentence. Whether needs an H. Robots, mobile phones are changing humans' lives with a V. Or their intelligence. Okay, the lives of human or their intelligence. Okay, it's not really clear here, Nina, not 100%. But, okay, has been debatable since the technological revolution began in the 21st century. So again, this essay will discuss both of those views and give examples to demonstrate points and prove. It needs to have a V, not an F. Arguments. Okay, well done there. A nice, clear thesis statement in your introduction. Firstly, I clearly believe that innovative technology adjusts, with an S, to those necessities of growing societies. Okay, you don't even need to say to those. You could have just said to the necessities of growing societies, and it makes a little more sense like that. This is largely because it progresses in order to satisfy the people's requirements. For instance, it is widely known that mobile phones are in constant renovation. Not really renovation, but are in constant, let's think. Actually, they undergo constant improvement in order to satisfy customers. A recent study published in January 2017 showed that 60% of Europeans change their smartphones annually with a double L due to the sophisticated, careful with your spelling, innovations that, are constantly included in new mobiles. Okay, well done. Nice example there. Therefore, as society develops and its necessity, because society is just one thing, its necessities increase, electronics adapt to these requirements. That's a really nice closing statement. It concludes your paragraph nicely. It's well done. Okay, so let's move on. Secondly, I totally agree that the innovation and the progression of technology promotes brain development and improves people skills. This is due to the fact that humans can achieve high-grade knowledge in many kinds of fields due to the valuable information that computers can present. Beautiful. It was so easy to read. You could see that I just flowed straight over it. So really well done. Very nice. One relevant example provides from medicine discipline. Okay, here you've got a couple of word order problems. So, for example, you could have said, one relevant example is provided from the discipline of medicine. Or you could have even simplified it more and said, one relevant example is provided from medicine. Done. Full stop. Thanks to sophisticated, again your spelling, computers, human doctors can scan different organs and represent them in 3D images to study deep surgery procedures without the apostrophe and without the ly here. I wouldn't even have used the word human here because, the only doctors I think we know of are humans, so there's really no reason to put it here. Okay, it should be taken with an N into account that in UK hospitals, 3D resources were used for surgery purposes in more than 50,000 patients during the last year. So definitely careful with your spelling here, please. Technology makes people more prepared. Okay, once you clean up the grammatical errors a little bit, it's a really, really nicely structured paragraph. You've absolutely followed the acronym. So you've got all of that there. Just need to clean up a little bit of the grammar. And I really liked your examples as well. They're very well done. So, to conclude from the examples and arguments given, I firmly believe, without the D, that technology adapts to humans, not really necessities, but needs instead would be better, and it helps people to be more trained. In the future, this development will continue as well as it will provide interesting and essential innovations to society. Your conclusion is flawless. It's beautiful. So, well done. Keep it up. Just remember to include the corrections that I suggested in your corrected essays. Don't forget to add them to your error correction list. Well done, and keep at it. You're doing very well.